100,000 at the G. Grand Finals are back in Melbourne. G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going over the biggest video probably of the year, one of the biggest at least. It is my 2022 AFL Grand Final preview and predictions. Last week there were two prelims, one cracking one, the other not so cracking. Let me quickly go back over my tips from last week's prelim and then let's dive into this year's Grand Final. The first one was on the Friday night. It was the Cats and the Lions at the MCG. Well, the Cats just tore them apart from start to finish. Brisbane looked nowhere near it, and Geelong advanced to the Grand Final, which was then followed by a Saturday twilight, one of the best prelim finals of all time. The Swans and the Pies. The Swans get it done in a last-second thriller by 1 point at the SCG. Now let's dive into this year's Grand Final, which I truly do believe will be a phenomenal game of football. The Cats and the Swans on two of the biggest winning streaks in the competition. I mean, obviously they're the only two teams left, but the Cats haven't lost since about round 12, and the Swans haven't lost in God how knows long. So, two teams, their massive winning streaks will come to an end this Saturday, and to be honest, it's going to be real close on who it's going to be. On paper, both teams are really evenly matched, and they can match up against each other really well, especially the Swans, who most likely will be fighting the uphill battle against this Geelong side. It starts with that incredible Swans backbone: Tom McCargan, Paddy McCargan, Jake Lloyd, Dane Rampy, even Robbie Fox, who's made a great positional change this year. The Swans' backbone is sorted, followed by a midfield consisting of seasoned veterans such as Luke Parker, and then you've got the emergence of Callum Mills, Chad Warner, Errol Golden. I mean, that midfield lineup, it's so young, but they fight so well. Their pressure is absolutely electrifying, and that's why the Swans can match up against the best, and that's why they are now in this position. I mean, the forward line, you've got Buddy, who's just signed a 1-year extension during the week. Sam Reid, I'm really hoping he can get up. He has been an absolute force for the Swans, making a contest in their forward line over the second half of this season, but he is facing an injury doubt. And Tom Papley just gets the whole side up and about. And Isaac Heaney, we all know how good he is at his best, and he has shown his best quite a bit throughout this 2022 campaign. But then we get to the Cats, which just have such a season list. I mean, you go to the backbone, Tom Stewart, but then you've got Sam De Koning, who's playing like Tom Stewart. Zach Guthrie is starting to turn into one of the Cats' more vital pieces in their backline. But you go to the midfield, and how well seasoned it is, still playing at their absolute best. Dangerfield, Selwood, Cam Guthrie, a real under-the-radar midfield, which just fires into their forward line of Jeremy Cameron, arguably the best forward in the comp, or arguably the best player in the comp this season. You've got Tom Hawkins, the All-Australian captain, Tyson Stengel, another All-Australian, and I forgot to mention in the backline, Mark Blitzarves, he's also a real threat down there. Again, a very under-the-radar player. It's absolutely ridiculous what Geelong have been able to do this year and for such a long period of time, and I think they are probably due for a Grand Final spot and a premiership. I'll go over the last time they met, and that was earlier in the year where Buddy Franklin kicked his 1,000th goal and the Swans got the job done by 30 points at the SCG. That was a real different aspect, so I'm not sure you can really take any talking points out of that game because Geelong weren't at their best. It was at the SCG, and it was always probably going to go the way of the Swans, considering how the day panned out with Buddy kicking his 1,000th, like a pitch invasion. I think it was always going to go the way of the Swans, so I'm not even sure if you can really take much out of that game. I think the ruck battle is going to be a real key asset in this contest. Tom Hickey and Reece Stanley, two great stories who will both be playing in a Grand Final. I would say Hickey has the upper hand because both teams have phenomenal midfields, but look, I don't think you can doubt Geelong. I think the main thing about the contest is just how evenly matched they are, but I am going to go, in the end, the Cats by 30 points with that such well-seasoned list. And we know the Swans' young list can match up and have incredible pressure against these better, more seasoned sides. I think they're going to stick with them all game, but the Geelong Cats are going to fire away in the final term and get the job done by 5 goals. My Northern Super Medalist, I'm going to go a little outlandish. I'm going to go Sam De Koning, and I reckon he's going to take the record amount of intercept marks in a Grand Final. And for the Grand Final sprint, I'm going to go for the Freo player, Carl Warner. Bring it home, Carl. Bring home something for our club on Grand Final day. Thank you all for watching. I'll have a little bit more content out before the Grand Final on Saturday. I might have a live stream on Saturday morning before the game, and I also may have a watch along. That's not yet decided though. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia